Deepest, Darkest Secret, Chapter 11. Sophia disconnects Christine's call and places her phone on her desk. She's confused about the whole situation. She doesn't know much about homeschooling, but she thought it was a thing of big cities. Cities where the schools are overcrowded. Drugs and fights are commonplace, and the teachers are basically handcuffed and not allowed to do anything about it. She tears off the sticky note where she wrote Miss Broussard's name and contact information and sticks it to her notebook. Troy will be able to reach out and see if they know anyone with a missing child. So she doesn't forget, Sophia puts a reminder in her phone to call Troy after her morning court cases. Her morning is spent at the parish courthouse. She has 2 cases going before the judge today. One biological mother is petitioning the court to take custody of her 3-year-old. Her son was put into the system when it was found they were living out of her car. Now she has a job and a stable place to live. She has turned her life around, and Sophia is thrilled that they might be able to put her little boy back in her arms today. These are the cases she loves. This is the main goal of the foster care program, to house the children until their biological parent or parents can get their lives together. Reunification is always the first goal when a child goes into foster care. The other case is an adoption hearing. These are sometimes a little harder. On the one hand, it's a sweet moment and exciting for the family adopting the child. The child is always happy as well to have a family they feel isn't going to leave them and will love them for the rest of their lives. The issue comes when the biological parents show up. These are the parents that haven't gotten their lives together, the ones who can't stay off the drugs or out of jail. They desperately want their children, but just can't seem to stay on the straight and narrow. They've had their chance, and now their rights are being terminated. At times, she has seen them cause quite a commotion at the adoption hearing. With both cases finished, she gets in her car. Lunch is next on her agenda. It's been a long morning. She drives to the main road and picks one of the fast food restaurants. Parking her car, she feels her phone vibrate in her pocket and looks to see what it is. It's her reminder to call Troy. Sitting in the restaurant, she dips her fry in some mayonnaise and dials Troy's number. Before she has time to swallow, he answers her call on the first ring. "Hello, Sophia," he says. "Oh, hi, Troy. Give me a second." She swallows and then begins. "Sorry, I just sat down to eat. I didn't think you'd answer so quickly. Listen, Christine tried to bring Luke to school today, but it doesn't appear he's enrolled in Prelo Elementary." "Seriously? How can that be?" "The secretary suggested that he's either not from around here or that he could be homeschooled. I guess it could be both." "Man, I don't know which one of those I'd rather have be the case. If he's not from around here, how long was he wandering the streets before I found him? How far did he walk? If he's homeschooled, why doesn't he know how to write at 7 years old?" "I know. It's concerning. Christine gave me the name of a lady she knows who does homeschooling. She said those families are usually close. Apparently, they all get together to do things so the kids can socialize. I wanted to pass on that information to you so the department could reach out to her." "Yeah, that'd be great. Let me grab something to write on." Sophia takes a bite of her burger while she's waiting for Troy to come back on the line. "Okay, I'm ready." Hold on," she says around her full mouth. "Okay, you have a knack for catching me with my mouth full." Sophia gives Troy Ms. Broussard's name and phone number. "Please let me know what you find out. He's doing fine, but if we can find his parents, that would be better." Most of the rest of her day is focused on doing check-ins with the foster children that are her responsibility. Today, she is visiting the ones that have children who are too young for school. Little Cherie is thriving with the young couple that took her in. They chose to foster instead of having their own children. They didn't want to bring more children into the world when there were ones already here that weren't being loved. Paul and Jacob, 2-year-old twins, were throwing a tantrum when she arrived, but it looked like their foster parents were handling it well. Sophia doesn't like intruding in people's homes because she understands the desire for privacy, but this is policy and what they signed up for. It's her job to check on the families and make sure there's nothing dangerous or neglectful going on in the homes. Most people who sign up to become foster parents do it out of a place of love, like the one she visited today. A few, unfortunately, do it to get a check every month. There have been occasions when Sophia had to remove children from homes where it looked like the funds were going to something other than taking care of the children. Those cases make her angry because these kids are already dealing with a lot of trauma, already having been taken away from their biological parents. They don't need to be mistreated or neglected by their foster parents. Troy is not thrilled that Luke isn't enrolled in school, but at least they have some type of lead he can follow. He picks up the phone and calls Ms. Broussard. A woman answers on the third ring, and Troy can tell she's a little frazzled. "Hello? Who's this?" She answers shortly. "Hello, my name is Officer Hebert with the Prelude Police Department. Is this Ms. Broussard?" "The police department? Yes, this is Christy Broussard. Did something happen to Jacob?" "Tina, no! Sit down and finish your math." "Sorry, we're in the middle of our school day." She's easily distracted by the birds outside. "I'm not sure who Jacob is, Ms. Broussard, but that's not what I'm calling about. I was given your name as someone who is involved in the homeschool community. There was a young man found wandering the streets a couple of nights ago who doesn't speak, and we haven't had any luck finding his parents. The school has no record of him. I'm reaching out to you as a parent in the homeschool community to see if you knew any parents who were missing their children, or a little boy who doesn't talk, maybe." "Are you talking about that child I saw on the news the other day?" "Sit, Dale. You have to finish that science page." "You sound like you have your hands full." "Yes, ma'am, that's him. I homeschool all 5 of mine. They're anywhere from 1st grade through 8th. It can be hectic some days, but we're usually finished by 1 o'clock, which gives us time for field trips or other extracurricular activities. As far as that little boy goes, sorry, honey, I didn't recognize him or else I would have called it in. He's not part of the homeschool co-op. That doesn't mean he's not homeschooled, though. There are a few families who choose to do it all on their own and don't participate in any of the extra things we put on for the kids. People think my kids are going to lack social skills. Imagine those ones. Would you happen to know any of those families? Their names or contact details?" "No, I'm sorry. I've met 1 or 2, but they were so adamant about doing it on their own they didn't even want to exchange phone numbers." "Thanks anyway, Miss Broussard. Can you tell me if, when you register with the state, you have to tell them if you're involved in a co-op?" "It all depends. Some of us have our own school names, but we're involved in the extracurricular activities, and you don't need to tell them that. Others do everything through the co-op. They have group classes, more like your traditional school, only smaller. In that case, when they register, they use the name of the co-op for the school name." "Thanks again. Have a good day, Ms. Broussard." "You too. I hope you find his parents." As he hangs up, Troy can hear her redirecting little Tina again. He can relate to Tina. Watching the birds was way more interesting than doing schoolwork. This case has gotten nearly impossible. How is he going to figure out who these few families are? Does the state have records of students who are being homeschooled? Why didn't his parents see the news and reach out to the police? He thinks he should also expand his search to the nearby parishes. He hates to think that Luke wandered all the way to Prelude from one of those, but anything is possible at this point. I should update Sophia, Troy thinks. Not that there's much of an update. Is that truly why he wants to call her? Does he have a thing for the beautiful social worker? He does like the sound of her voice. She does have black hair like in his dream. Stop it, he chastises himself aloud. Focus on what's important, finding Luke's family. Troy places a call to the Louisiana Board of Education. He explains Luke's situation to the representative who answers the phone. In this case, he can't ask if Luke is registered to be homeschooled, since they don't even know his real name. Instead, he asks for a list of all families with children between the ages of 6 and 8 who are registered to homeschool in Tangipahoa, Livingston, and St. Tammany parishes. He's disappointed to hear that although this information is available, it will take a week to process the request and get it to him. The department is currently understaffed, and there's a backlog of requests to get to before his. Not even the fact that he's with the police department can push his request through sooner. His next call is to Sophia to let her know of today's developments. Sophia answers quickly. Hi, Troy. Hi, Sophia. How are you? Hey, I'm doing all right. Did you get any information from Ms. Broussard about Luke? Do you know who his parents are? That's what I'm calling about. She did not know who he was. There are people who homeschool that aren't part of the co op, so she doesn't know every homeschool kid in the city. I've called the Board of Education, and it's going to take them a week to get me a list of homeschoolers in Tangipahoa and the surrounding parishes. I figured I'd expand the search to outside the city just in case. Man, that's crazy. Nothing like the snail like speediness of the Louisiana government. I'm guessing you haven't received any calls at the department either. There's no news on that end either. No phone calls or missing persons reports. I've checked with law enforcement agencies for the entire parish. I also put out feelers to other parishes as well. I don't get it, Troy. Who doesn't realize their kid is missing? Or if they realize he's missing, what parent doesn't care that he's missing? Especially if Luke's not just shy but really can't talk. We still don't even know that yet. I don't get it either, Sophia. I'd be losing my mind if my kid went missing. Oh, so you have children. I didn't know that, she said with disappointment in her voice. She hadn't even checked for a ring. I guess it makes more sense that someone as good-looking as Troy has already been snatched up by someone. But wait, Christine surely would have mentioned a wife or an ex-wife and kids when she was teasing her about Troy, right? My goodness, Sophia, get a grip. No, I just meant if I had a kid, that's how I would be. I do love kids. Can't wait for little Lincoln to be born. Lincoln? She asks, quietly sighing with relief that she was wrong. Yeah, my sister is 6 months along. I'll be an uncle soon. Oh, that's exciting. Obviously, I love kids too. I can tell. So, Troy begins. His hands have started sweating again. His heart is pounding in his chest at just the thought of his next sentence. Yes, she prods. I thought that, or rather, Sophia laughs a little. Spit it out, Troy, she teases. In a rush of words, something one might call word vomit, he asks, I wanted to know if you'd like to go out with me. Sophia is a little surprised, but immediately she gets goosebumps. Her stomach flips over. Who wouldn't? She says under her breath. She can't say that out loud. Play it cool, Sophia, she instructs herself. She takes a little too long to respond. Sophia? It's okay. I just thought we had like a connection or something. I guess I misunderstood the vibe of the situation. No, she blurts out. I mean, yes. Troy chuckles. Which is it? No, you didn't misunderstand. Yes, I would be delighted to go out with you. What did you have in mind? I have to work tomorrow through Tuesday, and I'm usually exhausted afterwards. How about we go to dinner Wednesday night, say 7 o'clock? Wednesday night isn't good for me, I'm afraid. My church is doing discipleship training right now on Wednesday nights at 7. Internally, she thinks this is his first test. What will he think about a girl who goes to church in the middle of the week? Oh, you go to church. Fantastic. Sometimes we have things on Wednesday nights at my church, but not right now. After Wednesday, I'm not off until Saturday. Do you think we could maybe have an early dinner Wednesday? I promise to get you to the church on time. Get me to the church on time, Sophia sings. Sorry, how embarrassing. It's a song from one of my favorite musicals. Yeah, I could do that. Troy smiles. I know that musical. Text me your address and I'll pick you up at, say, 5:30? Okay, I'll do that. I'm looking forward to it. She feels her cheeks getting hot and is happy that he can't see that over the phone. She's also impressed that he knows the musical that song she accidentally blurted out came from. Or at least he said he did. Me too. Have a good night, Sophia. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. See you Wednesday. Oh, that's another good musical. Au revoir, Troy. Troy hangs up the phone with what he thinks might be the biggest smile he's ever had on his face. He hopes things go well on Wednesday. He's already happy at just the thought of sharing a meal with her. Her sweet smile and high-pitched laugh are infectious. Now he knows she's a church girl and a musical lover like himself. That makes things even better.